Coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn, it's Lydia's Lunch Bunch, LA's afternoon morning show with Mark and Sarah today because Pam is out playing golf.
I'm sure it's like a charity golf tournament or
Okay.
something.
All right.
She's not just out having a good time.
I mean, is that an option for us?
well,
I'm
if
wondering.
we were better at golfing, maybe. She's very good at it.
And
so
maybe if we were better at podcasting, maybe she feels we need the practice.
she's probably right.
So she keeps us in the studio.
She's probably right.
We are covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com.
And today's show is brought to you by United Piping, serving residential and commercial customers with new installations and repairs. Call today and schedule your oil and gas boiler cleanings at 754-4556. UPI, the best plumbers around. Also brought to you by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 5 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com. And remember, the party starts at Ruper's.
Oh, what a treat we have today, Sarah.
Yay! Hot Rod Frank's back.
We are joined by old friend Frank Barron, affectionately known as Hot Rod Frank. He is a chief safety inspector for the National Street Rod Association and used to be our wacky neighbor at our old job back in the day.
Back in the day.
Right up the road a piece. How you doing, Frank?
I am doing just great.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us.
You know, I finally woke up when I walked into the studio, so it's going to be a good day.
Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate you opening your eyes.
Awake
for
and
us.
smiling.
That's right. We're going to talk to Frank about a bunch of stuff, including VOTEC and some fun events he has coming up as well. And before we get there, we are going to take a look at some headlines for Monday, May 19th.
82-year-old former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. Doctors at Massachusetts General Brigham Cancer Center said the cancer is treatable but not curable. Prostate cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death among men in the U.S.
Despite an attempt by a group of alumni and supporters to raise money and keep it open for at least another year, St. Dominic Academy High School in Auburn will close at the end of this school year. The Diocese of Portland announced the closure last month due to enrollment and financial challenges. The St. Dom's elementary and middle schools will remain open.
The Sun-Journal reports that organizers behind the effort to create Androscoggin County's first 24-hour shelter are looking at alternate locations. Negotiations on the purchase price of the former Schmenge's building on Lincoln Street have taken longer than expected. Caden's Kitchen founder and director Kevin Bollard said they found a potential new location that is under consideration.
And the Lewiston Police Department extended its appreciation to spring intern Jack Brochu, who recently graduated from Southern Maine Community College. Brochu earned his associate's degree in criminal justice and successfully completed his internship with the department, during which he demonstrated a strong commitment to learning and public service.
Want to talk about the weather?
We do want to talk about the weather.
Rain or shine, it's all okay. Grab your uke and start the day. Clouds may come or skies turn blue. Weather's fun with me and you. The sun is bright and storms may brew. Every day's a brand new view. You don't need perfect skies above. Hey, just a song and a little love.
Wow.
Frank removed his headphones so he did not have to hear the rest of the song.
Now, for our listening audience, Frank claims to be a fan of Sarah's and mine. And he's a big fan of our former show, and this is his first appearance on the Lunch Bunch podcast. And I told Frank that he had some headphones in front of him, and I said they are optional, Frank, if you want to put them on. Not only do you get to hear what you sound like through a microphone, but you also get to hear Sarah's jingles. And he's never heard the weather song. And she got about, 2 lines in, and Frank quickly removed his headphones. Frank.
That's how I feel about it, too.
What's going on, Frank?
It's a good feeling.
Wow. That's never happened before.
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Most people do like it, but it's okay if you don't.
It's all right if you don't.
I don't like the weather today. It's cloudy. With a shower or two this evening, we'll have a high of 56 and a low of 47, and it will be cloudy again tomorrow with another high of 55 and low of 46. And then, surprise, surprise, cloudy on Wednesday. What? With highs in the mid-50s.
I think the sun's going to come out in August.
I don't even know. It's weird because it's like in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to do some yard work? Come on outside. Nope, never mind. Go back in.
Torrential downpour.
Sorry, did you want the lawnmower to get all rusty in the rain?
In sports, the Red Sox still stink.
Yep.
They lost to the Atlanta Braves 10-4, and they will host the New York Mets tonight at 6:45.
And the Maine Mayhem women's football team beat the Harrisburg Havoc 32-0. Nothing.
Those Mayhem, they're something.
They are something. The Mayhem are off this weekend. They'll hit the road to take on the New York Knockout on May 31st.
There you go. That's your news, weather, and sports. And right now it is time for the podcast segment that is Sweeping the Twin Cities. Frank, you're going to want to put those headphones back on.
Oh, boy.
This is our classic. This is our greatest hit. You ready for this one, Frank?
Uh-huh.
It's time for famous people birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
All right.
He liked that one.
Yeah.
That's the better of the two.
Jury's still out, sorry.
Okay. All right. Wow. Tough crowd for a Monday.
Oof, okay.
My goodness.
All right.
All right. We only have two today, but they're pretty good.
Oh, okay.
We have Mark Mothersbaugh. If that name doesn't sound familiar, how about this?
Mm-hmm.
Co-founder, lead vocalist, and keyboardist of Devo.
Oh.
Remember Devo back in the day with Whip It?
Whip it.
Whip It.
Whip it's good.
Mark Mothersbaugh is 75 years old today. Oh. He also composed the music for the animated series The Rugrats.
No.
For 13 years. Yeah, for the series and the films. And he also created film scores for Wes Anderson and Marvel comic films.
Wow.
How about that, Sarah?
That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
In 2004, he received the Richard Kirk Award at the BMI Film and TV Awards for his contributions to film and television music.
Wow.
And our headliner for FPBs today is none other than Tina Fey.
Oh, funny
55 years old today.
Yeah.
30 Rock, Saturday Night Live. She's done movies. Mm-hmm. She's done a little bit of everything, and she is just phenomenal.
Yep. Author also.
Author, yep. She released her memoir, Bossy Pants, in 2011, which topped the New York Times bestseller list for 5 weeks and earned her a Grammy Award nomination.
I'm pretty sure she wrote the screen adaptation for Mean Girls, too.
You are correct.
Yeah?
Yes, you are. Yeah, she's a treasure.
She is a treasure.
As we like to say on this show.
Yeah.
Those are your FPBs. Now let's take a look at some OTDs.
Okay.
For May the 19th. 16 years ago on this day in 2009, Glee premiered on Fox, and it ran for 6 seasons.
Oh.
I'm going to guess that you were a fan?
I did like that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think I watched 6 seasons, though.
All right.
You may have watched 2 or 3.
33 years ago in 1992, Dan Quayle spoke out against the growing number of unwed mothers in our country. He said that the TV character Murphy Brown was a bad role model.
I'm sure Candace Bergen cared.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah,
Even
she probably
for
changed the whole format of the show.
She doesn't care. You can't even spell potato. Who cares what you think, Dan Quayle?
46 years ago on this day in 1979, in the Navy, the Village People's tribute to all the shenanigans that await a young seaman
In the Navy.
peaked at number 3 on the Billboard charts.
Wow.
63 years ago in 1962, during a birthday tribute to President John F. Kennedy at Madison Square Garden, Marilyn Monroe sang her famous rendition of Happy Birthday, Mr. President.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. That one?
That's the one.
That's the one.
Did you want to finish?
No.
Okay. And finally, 99 years ago, on this day in 1926, Thomas Edison spoke on the radio for the first time. He said, quote, "I don't know what to say. This is the first time I ever spoke into one of these things. Good night," end quote. There you go, folks. Those are your FPBs and OTDs for May the 19th.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the L.A. area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
Now, we shift focus fully to our guest in studio, Frank Barron, Hot Rod Frank, as we like to call him, Chief Safety Inspector for the National Street Rod Association. We go back a few years.
Quite a few.
Frank used to live near our former place of employment, right up the road on Center Street, and used to come visit us on occasion. At the time, we were auditioning for a wacky neighbor.
I won.
To just barge in.
And not just due to your proximity, Frank, you are truly wacky.
That's true, yes.
At times, that can be.
I mean, it's not just because you were truly our neighbors, all I'm saying.
That's right. Yeah. And then our time there ended, and we were like, are we ever going to see Hot Rod Frank again? And here we are.
Boom.
The return of Hot Rod Frank.
Yay.
Reunited, and it feels so good. Frank, tell our listening audience what your duties are as far as being a chief safety inspector for NSRA.
National Street Rod Association is one of the few organizations that has a safety program. We realize that most of the vehicles in the National Street Rod Association have been built by the owners who are not mechanics, and we are a second set of eyes. We do a safety inspection. It's a 23-point inspection. There are 16 that are required, and then the next are recommended. So if you pass the first 16, you get a small sticker. If you get all 23, you get a big sticker. There are 4 optionals, one of which is a fire extinguisher, another is seat belts, and a third brake light. We recommend that because some of the cars, they very dimly lit. People don't see the brake lights. So if you got one up high, that works even better. We do free. This is a free inspection. We're all volunteers. We're not compensated in any way. If you buy me a cup of coffee, that'd be fine. I don't have a problem with that. And we've been doing this. Well, I've been doing it. This is my 23rd year. 2 more years, I'll be 25-year service pin. That may be my last year. I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Ooh, breaking news. We like to break news on the show here, Frank.
More like broken news. But, yeah, and it's a good idea to make sure that the vehicle's safe. That way you're cruising down the road. You're not going to get killed.
Sure.
You're not going to kill somebody else
Right.
with something falling off.
Right.
So it's a lot of fun, and that's what I do.
Give us a little bit of your background in automotives, because you've done it all.
1974, I graduated from Lewiston High School. In the new Lewiston High School, we were the first senior class, so a shout out to the class of 74. I have been working on vehicles since I was 16, professionally when I turned 17. I worked on heavy equipment for a while. So a total of 52 years turning wrenches. I am retired. I ran my own shop for since 2009, closed it in 2023 due to other effects. Real life got in the way.
Sure. Can you tell our listeners the name of your shop?
Hole-in-the-wall garage, because there was a hole in the wall that you could look out through to see who was here. So we called it the hole-in-the-wall garage.
Love it. I love it.
It was fun to run my own business, but after 52 years of turning wrenches, it was time to say enough. My knees can't take it. My hip can't take it. My back is beat up. I never took care of myself. I had fun, or so I was told. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Cars have probably changed a lot in 52 years.
They have. What the kids that are working on cars today can fix it with a cell phone, with their phone.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And I have to use wrenches and a screwdriver to fix the stuff. I've got all the stuff, but when it came time to upgrade all my diagnostic tools, I'm looking at like $10,000 to $15,000. No, I'm not doing that. I started to back off on new cars and concentrate on old cars. I still work if Mark or Sarah had an old car that needed some tender loving care and nobody in the Twin Cities could do it. Yeah, bring it to me.
I've had a couple of cars like that, as you know.
That's right. He used to give you a hard time.
And I still won't work on them, Mark.
Mercilessly.
But yeah, it's been a career. It's been a life.
Do you remember when you first became fascinated with automotives?
Probably 1970, 71. There was a gentleman that I remember. I met him later on, towards the end of his life. Sam Sampson. He was building hot rods when hot rods were a no-no, but he was still building them. Mm-hmm. And I saw it go by one day, and I said, "That is cool."
Yeah.
And he's passed. He passed away in 2003, and I was still building my 48 when he passed. If you look at the 48, you're going to ask why the yellow firewall. That was the leftover paint from his last car.
Wow.
Wow.
And I'll never paint that firewall a different color. It'll always be that color. So it's been a lifelong love, and then I got into as a career, and then I said, well, now it's time. I'm deep enough into the career. I'm going to start building my own car. So I bought a 76 Olds Cutlass and modified it the way I wanted it. And the wife and I drove that everywhere. And then I picked up the 48, and we've been driving that ever since.
Yeah, and you brought the 48 to the studio a couple of times. It's impressive.
It's sitting outside.
It's sitting outside? Oh, we're going to have to get a picture of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sitting outside right now.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, we'll take a picture of that and put it up with your interview. It's a hot rod. You watch that thing go down the street and you're like, wow.
cool.
Somebody put some TLC into that.
Yeah.
Well, and it's got, right now it's got 81,000 miles on it. And next year I think it might be a little bit different. I think it's time for a redo. There's a few rattles that are starting to go, what was that noise? But we still drive it. We drive it everywhere. Yeah. We'll be going to Pennsylvania in the beginning of June.
You can take that on the highway, no problem?
No problem.
Wow.
No problem.
Wow.
Well, it's had its safety inspection.
That's true.
And it can,
That's the whole point.
And it can keep up,
Yeah.
And it can pass you also.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Frank, with someone like you who has spent a lifetime in automotives, what do you think of electric vehicles? What do you think of these cars that park themselves and drive themselves? And
The autonomous, it's no.
short answer,
Just
no.
no.
No, the autonomous. I'm hesitant.
Yeah.
To get into a car doesn't have somebody behind the steering wheel. The new lane changing thing, if you don't use your blinker, it'll fight you. Well, hey, sometimes you have to change lanes fast.
That's right. Sometimes you have to swerve. There's a runner or a biker or something.
Yes.
You
That makes me nervous.
Yep.
So, some of the new things, they're great for some people, but not for us, guys that have been doing it since 1974.
Sure. It is a new generation of automobile that's coming out.
It is. EVs will be coming sooner or later. I don't feel we have the infrastructure for them yet. There's not enough charging stations. My brother-in-law has an electric vehicle, and he uses that as his salesmobile. But there are times that he has to go a certain distance, and he'll take his other car.
Yep. So, fat chance we'll ever see you riding around in an EV.
Probably if it's a hearse.
There goes Frank. His dying wish.
Probably not. If they come in with a law that says all combustion engines are outlawed, no matter what the year is, then I'll probably, you might see me on an electric bicycle. I think those are pretty cool.
All right. Flames on it.
Yeah.
Right? You'll put flames on it.
We'll paint some flames.
That's right.
I'll have it pinstriped the whole bit.
That's right.
Nice.
Let's talk a little bit about VOTEC and the work you do with the high school.
Believe it or not, this is the 10th year that we started the VOTEC program in Burlington, Vermont at the Northeast Nationals. And what we did is we take the kids that get into the show for free. I spoke with the national safety director at the time, and he said, "You're right, there's no free lunch." So he said, "Run with it." And in 2015, we started it in Burlington, Vermont, and took the kids off the bus. We take them into our safety area where we do safety inspections and showed them how to do these safety inspections and allowed them to crawl around underneath the cars, ask questions, which at a normal car show they wouldn't get the chance to do. And we've been doing it ever since at Burlington. And 8 years ago, we started doing local at LRTC and in Bangor and in Rockland. Rockland kind of dropped by the wayside because of lack of students. But we're going back to this year because one of the guys in my safety team who runs one of the top-notch auto body guys in the state has gone part-time with his business, and now he is teaching auto body at Midcoast School of Technology. So he has made arrangements that we have a combined class of about 50 students, and we'll be going there on the 29th and doing our little thing with them. LRTC, I'm on the advisory board for LRTC's automotive program. We came in and we did that for the first year. They asked me to be on the advisory board, and now it's every year that we've been doing it. We did. There was one year that Sarah's son Leo was with us. Was very surprised when I picked him out of the crowd.
That tall, skinny kid.
His eyes got real big when I said, "Hey, you, come here." I think, we gave him a free membership, didn't we?
All the kids.
And that's all right.
Yeah,
there was a bunch of kids. We do.
He loved the best part for him about that was the monthly Street Rod magazine.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, he loved that.
We have our own publication called Street Scene. It goes only to members, and it's not available at the newsstand and things like that. It's for members only. And it covers events. It covers some cars. It covers some non-NSRA events, such as the Grand National Roadster Show, which is huge. Leo got in with it. We have, there was a gentleman out of Boston that approached me in Burlington one year, and he says, "What's this all about?" Because he observed me teaching the class. He says, "I want to help." And he cut a check for a nice donation, which allowed us to give free memberships to certain students. Since then, another person found out about it, and he says, "How much did he give you?" And I told him, and he said, "I'll match it."
Oh, wow.
Looked at his wife and said, "Bring the checkbook."
Wow.
Wrote the check right there. So over the years, we have been allowed to give out at least 150 memberships to students that deserve it. Not ones that want it. They have to deserve it. And I can usually read the students that deserve it very well, and they're enthusiastic. They ask the right questions, and then I'll take them at the end of the day and say, fill this out, and it's free. Don't worry about it. And hopefully we'll pick up new members through that, or later in life they'll remember and say, "I got to join."
Right.
So
or make a nice donation.
Or make a nice
That's
donation.
right. And Sarah Leo got a lot out of that course.
Oh my gosh, he really did. Not just the LRTC, but the visit with Frank. He just really loved learning about automotives. I mean, it's not something that he's making a career out of, but he did for a couple of years work for different garages, and he really loved it. And he still is super enthusiastic about it. Like whenever anybody has something going on with their vehicle, he asks a lot of questions, and he always offers to like, "Oh, I can help you with that. I know how to fix that." So it's really neat. It's a neat little, I won't call it a hobby because it's,
it's a skill.
It's a skill for him and for a lot of people to be able to do that.
So one of the schools that we deal with in Burlington got a grant, and there is a company in New Hampshire called Factory 5. They do kit cars, and basically all the pieces come in a kit. Everything is there except for the engine and transmission. They do AC Cobras, which were very popular in the early 60s as race cars. It's a fiberglass body, yes. They also do a little hot rod pickup, patterned after a 33, 34 Ford pickup truck. The school got the grant, and they bought the little hot rod pickup. And over the past 2 years, the senior class, that is their assignment, is to work on that truck and finish it. Oh. And they displayed it unfinished 2 years ago in Burlington. Last year, the date didn't jive with them. And hopefully they'll be back this year with a finished product. And that was one of the schools that from day one has been with us. And that is an achievement that when he called me and said, "Yeah, we're building a car," I'm going, "You got to be kidding. This is awesome." To get senior high school kids involved building a car, and like one class is doing electrical, and another, another one, the auto body class is doing the body work. So they're doing all the mechanical and stuff like that. And if you look at a Factory 5 car, the suspension is patterned after an Indy race car.
Wow.
I mean, these things handle Very, very, it's like on rails.
Yeah.
So the finished product is going to be sold for a set amount of money. And that money, they'll buy another car. And they're just going to keep doing this as part of the vocational program. I think that's fantastic.
That's awesome. I love it too how, you have kids like Leo who are obviously from the younger generation, but they have an appreciation. Mm. You start talking to the kids about music and they'll talk about music from the 70s and 80s. It's like, wow, you were raised right. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. You were raised right. And you have kids that still enjoy or develop an appreciation for working on older model cars.
There isn't a week that goes by that my son does not send me something on Facebook Messenger that is like on Marketplace. It's a car, some car that he's found. He's like, look at this one. Look at this one. I'm like, we're not buying a 76 MG for $3,500 so that you can park it in my driveway and work on it.
Well, it's I've been doing car shows since 1992. And I was always one that I would see the kids with the Subarus and the Hondas and stuff like that. And a lot of the old guys would just turn their nose up at them and not even talk to them. Yeah. I stuck my hand out, introduced myself. And over the years, I give them respect. They've gained my respect, and they respect me. And there's been quite a few of them. And there's one guy in Lewiston. I remember him driving his little Subaru when he was in his mid-20s. Now he's 30-something, has bought a house, has, got a family. And he called me up and said, come see what I bought. And I walked in, and he opened the garage door, and there sat a 1984 El Camino.
Ooh.
And I went,
sick.
what are you doing with this? And he says, I'm going to fix it. We're going to drive it. The Subaru's going to go away, and this is going to be the driver. Can you teach me about carburetors? I said, yes, I can.
Yeah. Wow.
So the younger crowd is now starting to get into older vehicles. Yeah. He has since picked up a very nice Firebird that he's driving right now, but he's still working on the El Camino. And I know he was sniffing around a Corvette, mid-70s Corvette. So he has got the old car bug. And the thing of it is his group of friends, close friends, are now looking at what he's buying and saying, where can I find it?
Exactly, yeah.
So the sport of hot rods, and it is a sport. It's not a hobby. It's a sport. Hopefully will live on, because the real reason we started this VOTEC program is to enthuse the youth, to see if we can get them into the organization. Mm-hmm. Because I looked around the field, and there were 3 colors of hair: gray, white, and flesh. We weren't getting any younger,
right?
So we needed to get the youth in, and it's been a long haul. It's been 10 years worth. Yeah, we're slowly getting some in. The kids that we started with 10 years ago are finally starting to come back. So it's well worth it.
Yeah. They come around, huh?
Yeah. They do.
Mm. I love it. That's encouraging. Mm-hmm. What's the best street rod ever produced?
Probably the best street rod ever produced would be patterned after a 1932 Ford. They only made that body style 1 year. Ford was good for making a body style, like the Model A was from 1928 until 1931. So it ran for 3 years. 32 was the only year that they made that body style. 33, 34 was almost identical. Then 36, 35, 36, 37, 38, all those. 37, I think, was a standalone year, and then 38, 39, they looked identical. Henry Ford was very smart. The 1940 Ford Deluxe was the 1941 standard. So he'd move the Deluxe down and build a new Deluxe. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So the retooling was patterned after that. Of course, 1941 was the year of World War II, and then he started producing tanks. So if you can find a 1942 Ford, they're very rare, but they are out there. Yeah.
Oh.
But I'd say probably the most popular would be the 32 Ford.
Okay. Do you want to talk about some events you have coming up with the association?
Not with the association, local clubs and stuff like that. On June 7th, there are 2 shows that are both for charity. One is in Durham, and it's for the Lisbon Area Food Pantry. LACO, I don't know what the CO stands for, but community, whatever. That is being held at the old Shiloh Temple in Durham. They put on a big feed. It's a good show. It goes towards the food pantry. The second one is not a startup, it's a return, is car show number 11. Downey Street Rods, for years, did car shows at the Lewiston Armory in the winter. They stopped at number 9, and last year we started car show number 10, and that was in an open field. This will be at the old Hodgman's Frozen Custard.
Oh.
In the field, and that will be on the June 7th also. So that's a pretty good deal. We will be, as far as NSRA, we will be at Lewiston Regional Technical Center on the 22nd and 23rd, which is Thursday and Friday of this week. And we will be at Midcoast School of Technology on the 29th, which is next Thursday. There is an event, I'm trying to think of the date. Yes, June 18th. From 4 to 8 p.m. is a cruise-in, touch-a-truck at Lost Valley. And it is for the Dean Sampson Explorer Post, which is an old Explorer post that's being revived by the Androscoggin Sheriff's Office. Huh. Dean Sampson was a sheriff. He died of natural causes. So they're naming the post after him, and the sheriff's office is doing this. Mm-hmm. And we're looking for a few cars. If you want to volunteer, by all means, you can find me on Facebook with no problem, Frank J. Barron. Just drop me in line.
I'm surprised you haven't created a Hot Rod Frank Facebook page yet.
No.
All right. No. Whatever, Frank.
No.
Well, no. Well, the reason is Hot Rod Frank is fine. I don't have a problem with it. But there's a gentleman in southern Maine who is a very nice guy who's Hot Rod Bob.
Oh.
And Hot Rod Bob has been Hot Rod Bob for many, many years. And when I am with him, I am not Hot Rod Frank. I am just Frank.
Well, he's not here.
And he's not here.
Yeah.
So
you've been in this industry forever, and you've participated in car shows where people bring their street rods to show off. They are all in mint condition. What is the last car that you saw that made you stop in your tracks?
That would have been this past Saturday, and it was a new car. It was the Bullet Edition Mustang, which recently, it was the revamped, brand new Mustang.
Yeah.
And it's style, it looks like a Mustang, but up close, it's restyled completely. It is just a beautiful, beautiful car. It sounds tremendous. It goes tremendous. But the thing of it is they only built like 1,500 of them as a tribute car to the original Bullet. And most of them got shipped to Europe and Saudi Arabia, and there's only like 438 left in the United States. Yeah. And this guy had one, and real nice guy. I've talked to him quite a few times. Beautiful car. And it made me stop and really look at it, because I was just, when he pulled in, I saw, instead of the Mustang emblem on the back, it said Bullet.
Yeah. Oh, that's badass.
You know, that is, okay. Yeah. So, for a production car, that made me stop in the tracks.
Yeah. I remember a film. I was really into motorcycles for a while, and there was a film called On Any Sunday.
Yes.
It was just fantastic, and it spurred a resurgence in motorcycle enthusiasts. I'm wondering, do you feel that Bullet did that with American muscle cars?
Yes, because there was two of the greatest there. There was the Mustang, the pony car, and the Dodge Charger, which whoever with the stunt drivers were fantastic. They really put those cars through their paces. Muscle cars had a resurgence at that time. Yeah. Of course, muscle cars kind of died off after 1972. It's still an Olds 442. No, it's just a striping package that they stuck on at the factory. It made a resurgence. And now with the new technology, muscle cars are coming back. I mean, you've got the Challengers coming back with high horsepower, the Camaros, the Mustangs. You know, the Mustang GT right now is like, holy crap, this thing flies. Yeah. And, of course, Ford, the resurgence, Le Mans with the GT40, which the Christian Bale, Ford versus Ferrari.
Yep.
Ford had already come back with a new model GT40 at that time when that movie came out. That you can still buy a GT40 brand new. It's stupid money. But, of course, Corvettes, the same thing. Yeah. You know, they're the new supercar. There's the new Corvettes. Yeah. So
there's something magical about watching those movies from back in the 60s and 70s and even 80s. Like I think of Bullitt, I think of the Blues Brothers, which for my money, greatest car chase scene in cinematic history. But there's something magical about that because you know there was no CGI involved. None. This is all real and it's just pure awesomeness. You know, regardless of what I'm watching on the screen now, if it's modern in the back of my mind, I'm like, there are no miracles in this movie. It's just CGI.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Movies have changed a lot of CGI, but the old movies where, like the Blues Brothers, the big pileup of all the police cars.
Man.
They were just launching cars off the ramp. Nobody was in them. They were just launching them to see what would happen.
Yes.
So
Roll it.
yeah, I saw something. There is an event where they will launch cars off a cliff and see if they can land them in a pond. And the people are all sitting around the pond. And I mean, here comes this car, and it's just sail. And I'm going, Blues Brothers, where's the Bluesmobile? Let's launch that thing up. So
I think that might be my dream car, the Bluesmobile. Frank, anything else about yourself or NSRA or the work you're doing that you would like to share with our listeners?
Like I said at the beginning, the inspection's free. When you see the 48 at a car show, come see me, and we'll do an inspection. As long as you're not parked in a puddle.
Sure.
Well, this summer so far.
Oh, look, dry roads. We are everywhere. I've got guys in as far north as Brewer and Otis, Maine. Not Otis Field, Otis. I've got guys in Peru, Maine, the Mexico Rumpet area. There's guys down here. There's guys down in southern Maine. I even have one of my team members is in Massachusetts. Massachusetts wasn't given the supplies. I said, you just joined the main team. So we're everywhere. We have a lot of fun. It's free. We'll do the inspections. We want to make sure that everybody's safe. The state police see me coming, and they say, oh, boy, here he is. Because our inspection is just a little more stringent than the main state inspection. So, yeah, we just have a lot of fun. We've got events everywhere. I'd like to come back later in the summer. There's a couple of other events that need to be promoted, and we're going to have a good time. That's all there is.
I got to check out a car show this summer. It's been a really long time since I went to a car show. I feel like it'd be fun.
June 7th, New Gloucester or Durham, either or. The one in New Gloucester is going to be, everything is donation for that one. Donation at the gate, donation for a burger. All that money goes to charity, local food banks.
Okay.
Nice. Local food banks are hurting. Yep. The one in Durham goes to the Lisbon area food banks. So, and when I say they put on a feed, there's one whole room that's full of food, ready to eat. They seem to stem more towards desserts than,
Nothing wrong with that, Frank.
No.
No. So they've got that. There's all kinds of little car shows. By all means, I would come up and support Androscoggin Sheriff's Office at Lost Valley on the 18th of June. Mm-hmm. We just have a good time, always. It's one big happy family.
Yeah.
So
you've got to live your passion since you were a teenager.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It's I turned a career into a hobby, into a sport, got rid of the career, and I'm still going with the sport.
Yeah.
Locally owned and locally focused, Lydia Media celebrates the heart of the greater Lewiston Auburn area through 2 magazines, Uncle Andy's Digest and LA Metro Magazine, and the new Lydia's Lunch Bunch podcast. Each production shines a positive light on local businesses, nonprofits, events, and individuals making a difference in our community. Keep your advertising dollars local and position your business in front of your target audience with Lydia Media. Learn more at lydiamediallc.com.
Frank, as you may know, we like to close the show with a segment called 3 Random Questions.
Again?
Again?
Or still? Still.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Still.
I like it.
We still do it, Frank.
Good.
We want to get to know you a little bit outside of the Hot Rod Frank persona.
Yeah.
Okay, so these questions will have nothing to do with automotives. Frank, if there was a movie made about your life, what's the one scene that people would be talking about on the ride home?
Whitewater rafting when I was mid-50s, and the guide on the back of the raft told me to stop paddling because I was too strong for him.
Ooh.
Wow.
And he asked me to be, there's a grade 5 river in West Virginia, Gallaudet, something like that. And he wanted to know if I'd be interested in being his bowman on that trip that they were taking.
Wow.
He says, I have to tell you to stop. Because he couldn't keep the boat, because I was paddling so hard on the bow.
Yeah.
He couldn't keep the raft straight. And he told us, Frank, stop.
Who, me?
I thought that's
You told me to paddle,
that's why I'm here.
Maybe that, or I had a car, 69 Chevy Caprice, and it got totaled. Maybe the car accident. That was on Thorns Corner in Lewiston. It was horrendous. I didn't get hurt. Nobody got hurt, luckily. But I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah.
What scene would be?
Those are good examples. I
think
love
so.
a good whitewater rafting scene.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Especially when Frank pulls the paddle in and just sits there with his hands in his
He's
lap.
like, okay.
I'm too much for you guys. I'm too much.
Nothing better than see a mid-50s fat guy in a bathing suit with a life vest that's way too tight.
So it's a comedy we're watching then.
Thanks.
Could be.
Thanks for painting the picture for
I know,
us.
now seems the scene is a little different than I thought.
You asked the question.
All right, it's my turn, Frank. What smell, when you smell it, reminds you of your childhood and why?
Puppies.
Puppies.
Puppies. The smell of a puppy. There's something about the smell of a puppy. Everybody loves a puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember 2 or 3 years old, puppy. And then when I got older, we got another puppy. And that one stayed with us a long, long time. Yeah, the smell of a puppy.
Their little Frito feet and their little...
Yeah, being all goofy and falling over. And
Yeah.
I fell over quite a bit when I was a child. So yeah,
I can relate to this thing.
Yes.
Yeah, puppy.
Puppies.
Nice. Puppies.
All right, Frank, final question. Putting all of your automotive and technical skill aside, what could you teach someone to do today with 100% certainty?
How to be safe at a gun range.
Okay.
Oh.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And it's important.
I belong to Androscoggin County Fish and Game Association. I am the senior chief range safety officer there. Senior only because I've been doing it the longest, not because I'm the oldest, which I could be the oldest. I'm not sure. And gun safety is a priority, and I can teach them how to be safe with 100%
All right.
Nice.
that they will succeed.
Good skill to have.
Safety is your life.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, if you are proficient in safely handling a gun, that's a big plus in my eyes, in my book. Somebody who goes in and buys a gun and never shot a gun before in their life, and they're out, doing it gangster style, sideways, and this and that. No. That's wrong. Find somebody who's either a range safety officer or an instructor, take some lessons, and yeah. But safety in guns, yeah, that's a good thing.
Frank, I'm so glad we had this opportunity to reconnect.
Well, I'm glad you guys are back.
Yeah, we weren't off for very long.
No.
Sarah made sure of that.
Yeah. Well, and I was kind of hoping that Pam was going to be here today so I could meet her.
Next time.
I met the security team out front.
Yes.
Vincent.
Yeah.
The
He's
corgi came and sniffed my shoes
He's scary, huh?
and realized he owns a cat and go away. I didn't see Lydia, so Lydia's probably not here today either.
Nope, she stayed home today because of the golf tournament.
Okay.
Yeah,
so-
apparently she doesn't like to golf.
Yeah.
But I'd like to come back later on this summer
Yeah.
and do this again. I can show up as a crazy neighbor again.
Yeah.
I'll show up with a suitcase. How's that? I had to
Start
throw-
rapping on our door, Sarah.
You
You guys podcasting?
It just parks the hot rod here on the sidewalk.
No, the sidewalk's wide enough here, but not getting in. I'd have to jump the hump and
Yeah,
Have to get you a ramp or
right
something.
through there.
Yeah.
Right through there.
But so appreciate your time. Great to see you again, and we'll do it again soon.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Great to be here.
Thanks to our sponsors for today, Ruper's Beverage and Redemption and United Piping. And if you'd like to be part of the Lydia's Lunch Bunch advertising family, reach out to Pam. but not today. She's on the golf course.
I mean, you can. She's just not going to respond.
That's true. Just send her an email. Pam@LydiaMediaLLC.com. So tomorrow, courtesy of our friends at Ruper's Beverage and Redemption, we're going to be sampling some Dogfish Head Craft Brewery Grateful Dead Juicy Pale Ale, and wait till you see the can.
Loving the can.
Artwork on this can
Gorgeous.
is phenomenal. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing tomorrow, and probably talking about other stuff as well.
I love talking about stuff.
That's what happens when our guest cancels. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a great day. And remember, don't bite your cat.